All right, so I came up with a couple outlines here. I just want to probably say a few times that there's no correct outline. There's no one way to structure your project description. So these are just ideas, not rules by any means. But if you're having a hard time structuring it, you can use this and adapt it to your needs. So the sample outline number 1. Now there are a couple rules in here though. So I will point those out. The first rule is that every single project description needs what I'm calling a concept sentence. And we're going to look at lots of examples of those here in the next few slides. But basically what it does is it just introduces your project as succinctly as possible. Like, my project called blah, 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 blah is a blah, 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 blah. Great. This sample outline, I want your first sentence to be your concept sentence. Then the rest of that first paragraph will continue with describing your project: what, when, where, and or how. The second paragraph will give background information. So you might address questions like, why did this project come about? What needs are you trying to address? What is the project inspired by, etc. The third paragraph will offer your justification. How will your project address the need that you just outlined in your second paragraph? Why is it important? Why is it different? How does it contribute? What are your goals and objectives? The fourth paragraph is your process or approach and timeline. Again, if not, sometimes they'll ask for a timeline separately. So if not, addressed elsewhere. And it could be divided into 2 paragraphs if you need to. You'll describe your project in more detail along with the steps you'll take to prepare or create it in order to meet your project's goals and objectives. And you'll estimate the total time your project will require. Fifth paragraph, again, if not addressed elsewhere, is your metrics for evaluating and monitoring. How will you know that this project is successful, that it's met your goals? Then the 6th paragraph, and I think fit is a good thing to end on always, is why this project is a good fit for this grant. Again, if not addressed by a separate question. Why I think it's a good place to end your project description, if not addressed elsewhere in the application, is that it's an opportunity to sort of sum up what you're talking about in the rest of the document. So you can say, because of this, 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 and this, I think this is a great fit for this grant application. I know that your organization, prides itself on whatever it is. And sort of making that argument for this is why you in particular should care about my project. Okay, so sample outline 2 is very similar. Just as an example, I swapped those first 2 paragraphs. So in this example, you would start with your background information and then get to your project description in the second paragraph. Now, if you do this, you should only do this because you got a really good story. That's your background story. Or you got, a very inspiring background or something like that. That's going to be really engaging and demonstrate your passion really well to your granting institution. If you don't have that, start with your concept sentence because you don't want them digging for what your project is. If you do decide that your background is worthy of being your first paragraph, keep it short so that you get to your concept sentence as quickly as possible. And make sure your concept sentence is the first sentence of your second paragraph if you go this route, so that it's still in a prominent position. So background first, concept sentence, first sentence of second paragraph. The rest of that paragraph is describing your project. Then you might go into your process and approach in your timeline. Then you might go into your goals in the 4th paragraph. And then you might end with fit again. So a couple of examples of how you might structure it. Now we're going to actually go into examples of how other people have structured their project descriptions. First, let's look at this concept sentence. These are real people's concept sentences from project descriptions that won grants. So these are all successful project descriptions. Let's see if I can move this so that I can actually read these. Maybe not. There we go. For my upcoming solo exhibition on October 1st, 2009 at Larimore Project in Seattle, I intend to make a sculpture that references the near fatal Quay Creek mining incident. So you can see date, place, introduces what kind of project it is. I'm proposing a HARP residency to create a new theater work called City Council Meeting, which will feature 9 characters, as well as live video and a webcast. So a little bit different kind of project description here. In another one, I propose to enroll in the International Voice Workshop with instructor Richard Armstrong at the Banff Center in Alberta, Canada, for an intensive 3-day workshop in August 2004. So again, just a few different examples of things you might write a project description for and what that concept sentence might actually look like.